What's going on, guys? So Google just officially released their Pixel 10 series, and here with me I have the regular Pixel 10 Pro. I do have the 9 Pro and the 9 Pro XL just to do some quick comparisons, but I'm interested to see how much has really changed from Google from the last generation. You know what hasn't changed on this channel? Our sponsor, nobody. So as always, guys, we got to give credit where credit is due, and this was made in Vietnam. Once again, a lot of things are moving from China over to Vietnam. Probably just more cost savings, but let's go ahead and get this unboxed. So we do have these pull tabs here, but we can just go ahead and cut these off. I'm awake. Anyway, continuing with the unboxing experience, we're going to go ahead and slide this out. As you can see here, we have the device. And in the reveal, the Pixel 10 Pro. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Have a little hook here. Much better than the almost $2,000 Samsung Z Fold experience. We're going to go ahead and peel this up. Whoa, you no longer need a physical SIM card to activate your eSIM during phone setups. That's new. Okay, Google, that can be improved. I don't know who's in your design department, but not great. Google's always listening. Go ahead and take this off, and I have to say, in terms of design, slightly better than the last generation. We do have a USB-C cable, and then in the box we just have some paperwork, so I'm gonna go ahead and just toss all that stuff to the side. So in terms of design, I gotta say this is more closer akin to the iPhone 15 series, where it has more of like a polished satin finish on the back, and then on the side it's a bit more flashy, or I should say more reflective, whereas on the Pixel 9 series it's more subtle, more matte finish. They do say this is space gray aluminum, even though I don't think I'm going to be going to space anytime soon. Please just make things earth grade, but overall I'd say in terms of design, I prefer the 10 series, just from a first glance. Like I said before, there is no SIM card. Not sure if this is a US only thing, but as you can see on the left hand side, we have the SIM card tray, but now on the 10 Pro, it's no longer there. Hopefully this makes for a better experience in terms of the speaker and microphone. But overall, pretty much the same. There is a newer camera, as you can see from a quick glance. On that right hand side, you see that third camera on the right hand side, and then we have some type of sensor here. I don't know if this is a sensor for temperature or just general censorship. What I'm really excited to test out on the Pixel 10 Pro series is the PixelSnap, which is basically MagSafe, just not trademarked, as well as the Material 3 Expressive, or Material Expressive 3, which is supposed to be their new take on the UI interface, which should be coming to other Pixel devices, so stay tuned for that. And then some slight Gemini features. Okay, so we have a bit of a new animation in terms of the startup screen. We have a little bit of a waving icon. Similar to Apple as well, where it has the different languages upon startup. As you can see, this is Google probably just trying to be a bit more global rather than just appeasing the US audience. All right, so I'm finally booted up in the Pixel 10, and I can already see some slight differences in the design, as you can see here with the battery icon, but let's test out the PixelSnap feature. So I don't believe they're magnets. I mean, there's some magnets in the Pixel 9. As you can see, it's starting to slide down a bit, but the Pixel 10 has the actual magnets in the back, so it does stay. And if I were to shake this, it's not coming out, but if I were to do that on the 9, this thing would fly off easily. Just like that. So that is available. Let me go ahead and test out another feature here. Testing out an Apple charger. This has to be some type of cardinal sin, charging an Apple charger on an Android device. But just like that, as you can see, it does power the device. So I'm gonna wait for this to go away. Just like that. Once again, I can shake. Not coming off. If I were to do that on the 9, it will charge, as you can see, but if I were to last but not least, I do have the stand here, so if I were to try this on the Pixel 9 Pro, it just slides down. If I were to do this on the side, still slides down, just so people think I'm not holding it or dragging it down. The Pixel 10 Pro stays up just like so. Tap it on the screen, watch a video. What the heck did you just open? There you go. Just like that, stays on there, no problem. So PixelSnap is available, so any MagSafe, trademark Apple, devices you see available on Amazon or any other retailer, you can use it with a Pixel phone. And look at this now. This just makes it so much more versatile. Then I can like swap it here. Oh my god, this is... Finally. Alright, so the expressive Material 3 UI design, I want to say it's slight differences. As you can see at the top, it's just like the battery icon that I've seen so far, and even like the Wi-Fi symbol as well. Also, it's just some general icon changes throughout the entire system. So far, it just looks like the internet icon. Let me go ahead and swipe down a bit, see if there's any more differences that I can notice. But overall, I would say pretty much the same. Let's go ahead and open up the settings. Maybe settings can offer us a bit more. Let's try out Gemini. Open up the settings for me.
I have opened the settings as you requested.
Alright, so I don't know why this is in dark mode. Sponsored by nobody. So now on the lock screen here, have that there at the bottom. I don't know if people know you can do this on Pixel devices. By the way, it does have facial recognition, so if I just look at the device, swipe up, I'm in, so that's cool. I want to test out some Gemini features because one of the reasons why you buy the Pixel devices is for the assistant, and I'd say Gemini is a very capable assistant, so let's go ahead and just try out something funny here. Tell me the reason why I should be a content creator, but summarize it in 3 sentences and say it to me in Romanian.
A fi un creator de conținut îți permite să-ți împărtășești pasiunile și cunoștințele cu o audiență globală, construind o comunitate loială în jurul...
Never mind, I want you to tell me in Russian, but give it to me in 1 sentence.
Создание контента позволяет делиться своими увлечениями, строить сообщество и превращать хобби в карьеру.
Who was the greatest chess player, but let me know in Japanese.
마그누스 카르센가史上最高のチェスプレイヤーだと広く考えられています。史上最高のチェスプレイヤーだと考えています。
The one thing I did notice here is that there is a screen sharing. So if I do screen with live.
Hi, I'm Gemini.
Okay. So I can actually share my screen, and I'm actually talking live with Gemini here. So I'll say, what do you see right now?
All right, I can see your phone screen. It looks like you're live with Gemini, and you have a Google search bar at the bottom. What can I help you with?
Can you navigate for me? For example, can you open up the Photos app?
Sure. Just tap the colorful flower icon labeled Photos on your screen.
All right, Google, Gemini, that's the next step. You got to be able to move this up to being able to actually interact with the device. But I can actually see Gemini still going off here. So let's just say, find me a reason to do a backflip. Summarize it in 1 sentence.
Here's one. It's a fun way to show off your athleticism and coordination.
Just kidding, I don't care. I will have a full comparison video between the Pixel 9 Pro and the Pixel 10 Pro, but just to give you guys a bit of a forewarning, I don't think it's worth the upgrade, but I do think this is a device you might want to consider if you can get it at a cheap price. Google has increased prices up dramatically since the Pixel 10. This thing was like $600 about 2 weeks ago, and now it's back to $1,000, and the Pixel 10 Pro is $1,000. So if you can find one of these used for half off, go ahead and pick up the Pixel 9 Pro. But in terms of some of the differences, right, the display is slightly brighter on the Pixel 10 Pro. So in regular use, it goes up to 2200 nits. In peak brightness, it goes up to 3300 nits. The Pixel 9 just does 2000 regular use, 2000 regular use, 3000 peak brightness, so once again 10% increase. The battery is slightly bigger. We do have the G5 processor, which is supposed to be better as well, more power efficient. But overall, guys, these are very similar devices. I even showcased the Gemini feature, but I do think that that's just going to come with software updates as well. One thing that I don't like that Google did, especially with this launch release, even though I do think the Pixel 10 Pro is a fantastic device, it's the comparison page shows some features that aren't available on the Pixel 9, which it's clearly there. One of them being circle to search. It says it's not on the Pixel 9 Pro, but if I just hold this here, Google, please tell me what this is. What is that? Circle to search. Oops. Right? Circle this. It's the same on both the devices, so don't be misled by what you see on Google's comparison page if you're trying to decide between the two. Once again, I will do a deep dive video between these two devices, but trust me guys, these devices are pretty much the same. All right, now let's focus more on the Pixel 10 Pro, so let's go ahead and open up YouTube and play a video. What's going on guys? So this is my first impressions and unboxing of the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Now, this is going to be a bit different from my other first impressions because I actually know nothing about this product. I just bought it online and now I'm doing my first impressions. It's been Chase, I'm not trying to buy one of your cards. So I think there is a super small speaker here on the left hand side, because if I cover this side up, it's pretty much like non-existent in terms of the sound. There are dual firing speakers, so this does have speakers as well, stereo speakers. So if I cover this, unboxing of a product in general, and loud. Surprisingly, it is the Z Fold 7. So yeah, interested to see what this is actually on the left-hand side. I want to say it's probably the microphone, and the mesh is probably there just to help pick stuff up. But kind of disappointing that the speakers aren't that much louder compared to last generation. But in terms of the overall display, once again, it gets pretty bright. Let me go ahead and open up a HDR video. I mean, it's brighter than last generation, guys, but I'm telling you, it's not that noticeable of a difference. But in terms of the overall display, starting with the Pixel, I believe, 8, the Actua display has been phenomenal. Like, look at this. So I'm going to pause right here because this is a... Why am I getting Reddit ads? Anyway, this is just a still shot. And as you can see here, I'm zooming in. This is YouTube, so it's going to be pretty compressed. But you have to keep in mind, this is an HDR video, so the colors are going to pop a little bit more. Overall, I would say with the Actua display, you know, the generations that Google has been improving upon, this is a very nice display. But honestly, I wasn't disappointed with what I had on the Pixel 9 Pro at all. Once again, in terms of spec sheets, yes, this is brighter, but in most settings, people aren't going to notice. But I'm very happy with what I see here. As you can see, there's really no color distortion whenever I switch or change the angle, or I should say the axis. But overall, pretty nice. All right, now the camera. Let's go ahead. Google is known for having an amazing camera. What is all this, bro? Motion photo, top shot, best take, 10 res pro. This is me recording with the front-facing camera on the Pixel 10 Pro. You guys let me know how it looks and sounds. I want to say with Google, wow, that's pretty detailed for a front-facing camera. I think last time I did this, when the Pixel 9 Pro first released, the front-facing camera for video actually looks better than the back camera. I also don't know why this bulge is coming out on the left-hand side of my face, but probably just a massive ingrown hair. Look at the detail on my face, guys. That's crazy. Good job, Google. All right, so this is me recording on the back camera on the Pixel 10 Pro. You guys know how it looks and sounds. It's a Pixel device. It's going to be one of the top in the class. As of late, I would say from the Pixel 6 and below, video wasn't that great, but ever since the 7 series, they've done a pretty good job. So I'm just showing you guys a bit of some different angles, some different lighting. You guys know how it looks and sounds. I think the microphone is the most important part that I think a lot of people overlook, but from my experience with the Pixel 9 series, the video and even the camera department has significantly improved from the previous generation. So you guys shouldn't be disappointed with what you see and hear. All right, I do want to take a look with the photos. I look like a dummy. But in terms of the quality, listen guys, I'm not some super technical camera guy. You know, this looks crisp. This looks crisp. Those lips look crisp. I need some water. I got some lint in my hair. Come on, I'm slacking when it comes to the YouTube space. Still got the reflective plastic on the TV as well, lots and lots of detail. Got a bit of a flare with the collar. You can also still see this green light that's depicted here. So once again, I'm just talking, really have no idea what I'm looking at, but for a camera and a photo, I'm not disappointed. So this is the portrait mode using the back camera. Honestly, pretty satisfied. I don't have a lot of depth here, so it's not showcasing what portrait mode can really do. But there is a slight blur, because if I were to go over to, watch up here, if I were to go over to the regular one, there's just a lot more clarity in the background. This is the front-facing camera, and I really love the front-facing camera on Pixel devices. I just think they are some of the best. And as you can see here in terms of the detail, slight bit of blurring going on, but honestly, people aren't really zooming in that much when it comes to photos unless you're doing like a 100x zoom. You need to get a lot of detail, which you're probably going to use once to impress your friends. But overall, with the front-facing camera, people are not going to be disappointed. With the experience I've had with the Pixel 9, if they just keep that, into the Pixel 10, people are not going to be dissatisfied. So this is the portrait. So I'd say this has a stronger blur effect than the back camera, but once again, overall, still pretty nice. You can see there's some hazing happening here. I don't know what's called that, but definitely doing some portrait justice there. Yes, there are features in Google camera that's on the Pixel 10 exclusive, but I don't think it's really worth showcasing and unboxing first impressions. I think what people need to care about is the PixelSnap. So this is my first impressions and unboxing of the Pixel 10 Pro. You guys let me know what you think. If you are picking up this device, just from first impressions though, I would say the only people that should consider this are people on the 7 Pro and below. I think this is now a good time to pick up a Pixel device, even want to hop to the Pixel 9 Pro. But if you held out that long, I'd say just trade in your device, especially with your carrier. There's some really amazing carrier deals, and get the Pixel 10 Pro. This is just, the PixelSnap is probably one of the best features. I know some people don't care about magnet accessories in cases, but trust me, from Apple, once you start using them, it's hard not to. Even when it comes to the charging standard as well, I think Qi 2 probably should require magnets so it perfectly aligns with what you're doing. This is just phenomenal. The price tag is $1,000, so it is bit of the higher end of Pixel, but Google, as of the last couple of years, I would say has really stepped up their game, and I would say they kind of deserve the title of flagship pricing, just because, benchmarks aside, I know they're not at the top, but in terms of an experience of using the device, I have a much better time, genuinely speaking, with a Pixel device than I do on Apple and Samsung and even OnePlus as well. It's been that good for like the past 2 years when it comes to the Pixel devices. Don't even get me started on the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Just doing a good job, Google. Anyway, guys, that pretty much wraps it up for me. Once again, let me know down in the comments below if you intend on picking up the Pixel 10 Pro. I appreciate every single sub, like, and comment. Gotta start saying that now. And as always, guys, much love. Pixel 10 Pro XL will be coming in, as well as the Pixel Fold and the regular Pixel 10. So stay tuned for all that. Go pick up some accessories. If you are curious about this, I'll make sure to have this down in the description below. Peace. What's going on, guys? So this is the Pixel 9. It's the Pixel 10 Pro. What's going on, guys? So Google just announced their Pixel 10. Waiting for this to boot up. This is always the most awkward part of the recording session. Hopefully I don't lose the audio here because the battery is starting to get low on the microphone, so we're just going to do a quick swap. Testing. Put this sucker in. Oh, it's the actual receiver that's low. Well, we might have to expedite this mission here.